This public hearing is now called to order at 6 p.m. on March 13th, 2024. This hearing is being held as required by the provisions of the Chapter 131, Section 40 of the General Laws of the Commonwealth, an act relative to the protection of the wetlands is most recently amended. Notice of the time and place of this hearing was published in the Fairhaven Neighborhood News on March 7th, 2024. It was also posted in the town clerk's office. Persons wishing to be heard will be called in the following order. First order of business, meeting minutes for approval, none. Next, meeting mail. A letter from Horn and O'Laughlin Law Office LLC, Freedom of Information request forwarded to Town Clerk Pam Labonte on February 27, 2024. The residents at 275 Mendel Road had requested any information on the property from Conservation Commission, and I believe there was none on file, so that was forwarded to the Town Clerk on February 27th. Old business. Continued public hearing, notice of intent, Keith and Giselle Camara, 12 Arches Way, map 16, lot 18F, SE file number 0010590. Notice of intent was filed by Kenneth and Giselle Camara for property located at 12 Arches Way. The applicant proposes to construct a new garage with covered patio, access driveway, and related site work within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by Rick Sharon of Sharon Associates Incorporated, engineers. The plan name is Plan of Site Improvements, a new garage dated November 9th, 2023. Rick Sharon requested continuance to the March 27th, 2024 meeting. Review of matters presented, votes may be taken. I'll entertain a motion to continue
So moved.
to March 27th, 2024. There's a motion from Heidi.
Second.
Second from Christian. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Continued to March 27th, 2024. All right, next order of business. Extension of order conditions. Acushnet Solar, 1050 Main Street, SE file number 0010543. Property owner Raymond and Simone Bullia. A request for an extension to an existing order of conditions was filed for SE file number 0010543, Acushnet Solar LLC, for property located at 1050 Main Street, map 7, lots 24 and 24B. The applicant proposes to construct a large-scale solar project on a portion of 1050 Main Street property. The solar panel system will be located in the central upland portion of the site with driveway access onto Main Street within the 100-foot buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by Nate Botts of Beals and Thomas. Plan name is Large Scale Solar Energy System in Acushnet, Mass. Dated October 5th, 2019. Submitted by SciTech Incorporated. Review of matters presented. Votes may be taken. Nate, the floor is yours.
Let the short guy go first. Good evening, Nate Bouts, Fields and Thomas, here on behalf of Acushnet Solar LLC. Here to request extension on the order of conditions for both 1050 Main Street, Acushnet Solar, and also Cushing Solar. As discussed during our previous meeting and also on the site walk, some outstanding matters. One of which was the site entrance, which we discussed in the field was a planning board matter. Some of the other matters that we discussed in the field was the trap rock crossings, how those have been noted on the SWIP reports, going to be reestablished during once construction resumes. And in the back of the site was the detention basin and dewatering matter. And engineering solution to make that dewater is raising the basin approximately a foot in elevation and also the surrounding grades around it. So we are seeking an extension on the order conditions to finalize those revisions. Obviously, revisions to the basin and stuff will be back in front of the board to discuss. So,
And so just to pipe in, as you know, I wasn't there last Saturday with you all. but it basically breaks down to three things as I understand it. Two, we suggest respectfully our fall directly within your jurisdiction, but we need time to address. One is the physical labor when we get back out there to deal with the traps. The second is the redesign, which is going to require calculations and everything. As I understand it, Nate's intention is the basin will be the same size in the same location, but it will be elevated by a foot, but that's for him to determine whether everything works out. In order for him to spend the money and the time to redesign that and to get out there and to do it in a way that's presented to the planning board and back to this board, we're basically asking for the extension. And as we understand it, the piece that's in the front that is not necessarily jurisdictional to you all is a serious concern for us and for the neighbor, and you're rightfully holding the board, directing us that this is a planning board issue on how you're designing it and how you're interacting with the neighbors, and we fully intend to do that. But before we do that, we need an extension from you so that we don't run out of time with the existing approval that we have here. And just in talking to Nate about what his timing is, if we were to get a favorable vote on the extension tonight, it would be their intention to spend the next 4 to 6 weeks doing the design work and then presenting it back to you and to the planning board. So you'd see the issues relating to the redesign on the detention pond and the work ready to be done on the traps. And the planning board would be looking at the front, and there would be another public hearing in which the neighbor could come and address the substantive issues of whether these resolve problems. That's our request and our hope as for 1050. But Nate was there and can answer more detailed questions.
Questions, comments?
I got a couple things. As far as the road going in, I think the stormwater on our end does have something to do with that. I know that the owner was out there Saturday telling us that has always flooded, it's always been full of water. With that in mind, has anyone, when you guys built that, was that taken into consideration that I did a quick calculation, you've taken up over 8,000 square feet of drainage area putting that road in, natural drainage area. So with that being said, was there anything in your mind that said, well, maybe we should take and try to figure out how we can keep the draining area, either build the road on big rocks and then go to smaller rocks as we come up, to help give you back that square footage of natural drainage area? I mean, it was over the road again this weekend, I did see that. And so that I had in mind. I'm just wondering if you ever thought of that, and he took that into consideration. Because when Mr. Bouyer was out there Saturday saying it's always been a water pond, during the rain season. So I just felt that it should have been put a road right through it and said, well, okay, because you did take away the square footage of natural drainage. And the second thing is the basin. I just feel there's way too much going on with that basin. As far as adding it a foot, I don't think he was going to keep you 2 feet above the wetland area, because it's already wet now always. So if you add a foot, is that going to put you 2 feet above that wet area? I don't feel it's going to, because it's wet. I've never seen that dry the 2 times that I've been there. And grant you, I realize we do have more rain now than we've had in a long time, and we've had a lot of rains, but that's what the basins are supposed to be there for, is for this kind of weather. And with that being said, I just don't think just, throwing numbers out, oh, we're going to raise the surrounding grade by a foot, we're going to raise the basin a grade foot. I don't feel that that's enough work. I feel it should be actually brought from us to a consultant and look further into it, and just saying, yeah, okay, let's look into adding it a foot. I don't feel it's going to meet the requirements of the town, which is 72 hours of draining. And we have the 2 foot buffer zone that you've got to be 2 feet above any wet. I believe it's 2 feet, is it, Ryan?
2 feet separation from groundwater.
Yeah. So I just don't feel that raising that a foot is going to give you that 2 feet that we're supposed to have.
Sure. So for the first matter, the site entrance. So that one is analyzed during permitting. Obviously, during the permitting process, stormwater design, you have to calculate how much water is leaving the site, pre-development, post-development, and those rates have to be met. So during the permitting process, the runoff was met pre to post. So yeah, in terms of the amount of water leaving the site, pre-development and post-development have been met according to stormwater standards. That was during the permitting process. That was I can also get my hands on it, but was submitted via the stormwater report. So those numbers I can definitely provide those for you. In terms of the basin, so the basin was permitted at a certain elevation, the elevation that's out there today. In terms of offset to groundwater, that was another thing that was, designed, permitted, and approved during the peer review process. Here, we're just realizing that it's restricted in terms of dewatering because of the outlet. So the solution is to raise it a foot to allow it to dewater. In terms of offset to groundwater, that was more analyzed during the permitting process.
Did you ever shoot elevations from the wetlands to your basin?
We did not,
Because that's something we discussed last meeting, that you were looking to shoot elevations and know exactly where the wetlands were and where the bottom of the basin is.
Yep, so we did. Top of water elevation of the wetland was around elevation 56. Current bottom of basin elevation is 57, and we're proposing to raise it to 58.
So the top of the water in the wetlands?
56.
So what was the bottom of so you're saying the top of the water?
Top of the water, yes.
Okay, so how deep was the water that you stuck to the bottom of it?
We did not get a shot on the depth of
So
water.
if that water in the wetlands is 2 feet thick, and you're saying you're just playing with the top of the water, actually the wetlands is 2 foot below that,
It would be 2 foot below the bottom of the
if there was
basin.
2 feet of water.
So there's no standing water, we got a top of water elevation of the wetland. And then the
Right.
basin, yes, is a foot higher currently, and we're proposing to raise it.
But what I'm saying is that wetland, how much water was in there, that
Yeah,
wetland when
so-
you shot it?
That I do not know.
So what you gotta do is shoot the bottom of it,
Yep.
because the bottom of that goes with your bottom of your basin. You can't have your water, if water is at different elevations, it doesn't matter what's the bottom at, because that's the wetland. If you got 3 feet of water and you're telling me, well, we shot top of water and it's 2 foot lower, it doesn't matter, or 2 foot higher, because you got so much water there, you gotta go to the ground elevation. So I'm not comfortable with those elevations that you're giving me right now, and that's me personally, and that's why I kinda said I believe this should be going to a consultant.
Yeah, but they're not asking that right
They're-
now.
Yeah, they're asking for an extension.
And they wouldn't be able to do that if we don't grant an extension, because they're gonna run out of time.
Right.
But
That'd be a
that won't be
future.
allowed to be on an amendment, would it?
It's
Oh, yeah.
well, if they redesign the basin, then it would be an amendment, or it would be up to the commission to decide if it was an amendment or a minor amendment. It doesn't need to be filed.
Well, that's all we can do is minor amendments. We can't do a major amendment.
Well, you can do an amended order of conditions, and it would be on file.
As the limited part that I understand on it, if you would grant the extension, we come in with something and you want a peer review to look at what has been filed, at that point in time, you could certainly ask for that to make sure that they're comfortable that what's presented addresses your concerns and the board's concerns. But unless we have the extension to know that we can redesign it and present it to you, we won't know that. And certainly if the engineer or if you feel that it's too significant of a change, then you're not bound by this. All you're doing here is giving us extra time to file our improved book report, if you will, and you guys are the teachers.
Anybody else from the audience, or anything, have anything to say?
I do.
Mr. Barbosa?
You go up there or?
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. See you on camera.
You know, you guys walked that thing Saturday. Saturday, the rain began. I've got pictures of the water running me down the road now. It's gone up so much, it actually is running down the road. Down where it should be running all along. I've got 2 sumps running, 2 sump pumps, 24/7. I've ran a pipe all the way out to the field and I'm filling the field. It's ridiculous. We always did have water there. In the spring, if we had a lot of snow, then we used to have a big pond there. If we didn't have snow, we hardly ever seen water there. I mean, granted, we've had a lot of rain, but not like this. This is ridiculous. I mean, that water's everything. And those rocks they put on for that road, every time you run trucks up there, those rocks are running in the street. This is ridiculous already. I mean, I just bought another pump because one of mine quit. I had 18 inches of water in my basement. I missed my brand new furnace by that much. I can't be running up and down the stairs every day to just make sure these pumps are running. It's ridiculous. Everybody's talking about, an extension to fix this and fix that. Fix the problem down where, for the neighbors. Nobody cares about the neighbors. These guys don't. I mean, it's crazier. My neighbor, the guy on the side of me, they have the same problem. They're pumping water everywhere. I don't know.
Anybody else, any other?
I'd like to make a motion to extend this to 3 years.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got an issue with that. Why are we gonna allow 3 years? If we, say, went to just a year, you know, it would probably put a little more fire under their butt to address these concerns, because this is a recurring theme on a lot of these projects. And I think we need to take it seriously into consideration. You know, like this neighbor said, you know, how long is that gonna go on? You know, the issues that he's having. If we don't, you know, force the work and the engineering to be done, we're just kicking the can down the road again.
I don't think we're kicking the can down the road again. I think,
You don't see this as a recurring theme,
How
Brian?
many
from
years
one-
have
from
they
one-
been doing this already?
Well,
you know, there was a cease and desist issued and all work stopped for quite some time. So, I mean, you know, I don't know what work was done on their end to make improvements or whatever. And just, you know, in conversations and site visits with this company, it seems like they're serious about making changes to make it right. I mean, they have to go in front of the planning board, they have to keep coming in front of us, and I mean, I'm sure they really don't want to hang out with me, you know, this much.
no, but my point is, if you allow such a lengthy extension, they could take, well, full advantage of that.
The other thing is I kind of agree with Christian. I mean, you're taking, even though you guys had a cease and desist, there was no reason why you couldn't do engineering at an office. You knew there was problems with the basin, guaranteed you knew there was problems. That could have been done at an office, where you could have said, hey, we're looking for an extension, this is what we've come up with for the basin. Now it's like, we're thinking about doing this, we're thinking about doing that. I think a 3-year extension is too long. Even with the cease and desist, they should have been able to do some of the engineering.
Can I speak
Go
real
ahead.
quick?
One second, Eric. The thing is, when all these issues were going on, there were internal meetings that happened with our agent and the building inspector and planning and all that stuff. A lot of changes were made to these projects in those meetings, that information that I wasn't privy to. So this has been a work in progress in that aspect. You know what I mean? I don't have the information that was discussed at those meetings.
Neither do we.
Neither did the commission. So, I mean,
So at the end of the day, even if we give them the 3-year extension, that doesn't mean you can't put it in a cease and desist. If they're not doing what they're supposed to, we can always do.
Well,
other
Ryan
things.
already said he don't like cease and desist.
It doesn't
so-
matter what we like
Yeah.
or not, it's still an option.
So what do you
I don't think
suggest
that's
as
the
a
way to go.
timeline on that?
No, I'm just saying, it's,
So, okay.
for right now,
All right.
they need the time to go over
Vote
things.
on my motion.
All right,
If
well,
it doesn't
there-
pass, then
right.
somebody can make a different motion.
there's a motion on the floor, so there's a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
No.
No, yeah.
Okay, that's 4 to 2. Okay. Next order of business. Extension order conditions. Cushing Solar, LLC, Cushing Lane, SE file number 0010562, property owner, White's Farm Incorporated. A request for an extension to an existing order of condition was filed, SE file number 0010562, Cushing Solar, LLC, for property located at Cushing Lane, map 7, lot 26. The applicant proposes to construct a large-scale solar project, 2.0 megawatt, on the portion of the Cushing Lane field property within a 100-foot buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. The applicant is represented by Nate Botts of Beals and Thomas. Plan name is Cushing Solar LLC, 2 megawatt. AC in Acushnet, Massachusetts, dated January 11th, 2021. Review of matters presented, votes may be taken. Nate?
Yep, so no real updates on this project. Only outstanding matter is the drainage ditch, which is in question. Other than that, seeking the 3-year extension on the order conditions.
And this one falls more on my end of what I had said I would try to do the last time, was to get Ray White, who was actually at the site visit, to give me the background on the drainage ditch. He has shown those who were there on Saturday the plan that showed that it was defined as a drainage ditch years ago. He has shown the deed when his family bought it, that it was a farm that was purchased that came with cows and chickens. I'm still in the process of getting his mother, who's aging, to put together an affidavit and talk with town council about what they might need to confirm what I understand was presented to this board when it was originally presented, which was, we aren't here to say there's not water flowing there. We put it on the plan that was approved back then as a drainage ditch that was associated with the farm. We haven't changed our story as to what exists there. It's a legal question. We think that we satisfied it then. We're asking for the extension. And that's basically where we are at. And the only update that I have legally is we've talked with Ray. Ray was out of town for a while. He was at the meeting, he was present for the walkthrough. And what you saw is what it is on a rainy, wet time of season, that drainage ditch is what their family bought and what has existed there for some time. So for simplification purposes, we'd ask for the extension today as our initial ask, and I'm happy to answer questions on it.
So, you're right, Ray did meet us there, he did say that.
I'm right, by the way.
Hey,
I met you at one of the other meetings, the planning board.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, Ray did meet us there, you know, he said about his background, about his grandfather, put the drainage ditch in. My own personal opinion, I'm wondering why he put it in. It was wet problems, and if we fill it, what's gonna be the effects of filling that? The other thing I've noticed too is while I was there, I actually took a couple pictures of it. There's a bunch of sensitive ferns there, which is a New England wetland plant. The fern is, as its name suggested, an sensitivity to the first frost, known as the bead fern, due to the bead-like clusters, and it provides habitat for salamanders and frogs and other small animals. So I just really think that this ditch should be looked into, and if you want to see the pictures, if anybody wants to see the pictures of the ferns, and where I pulled it up in the book, I have it. But I just think that this ditch should be looked at, not just filled in. That's my own personal opinion, 'cause I think there'll be side effects to it. And I'm not a botanist, but I did see it. I went back home, looked it up, and that's where I came across the sensitive fern.
I guess I kind of share the same sentiment about the ditch. Not the fern, but the fact that, it being filled in, what it's going to do upstream or up gradient from the property, It was noted on the plans, so, it's really, legally, there's not much we can really say about it. I mean, I would ask in good faith that you guys would consider, looking into the ramifications of filling it in, because, I mean, it may create an issue for a neighbor, I'm not sure, the plan said, I think it said fill it with stone, and that may keep it functioning. I don't know. There's no doubt in my mind, that it wasn't hand dug or whatever, dug on that property for the farm, But, now it's a functioning stormwater drainage
Swale,
system,
yeah.
swale, so I mean, that's my concern, but I do understand the fact that it was on the plans and they were approved and you were permitted to do that, and so I know it's,
So I guess the two options, because you're aware that as a result of this particular, the Cushing one was directly stopped because of a title issue to get in and out of that property, right? And that there's litigation where the town is a part of, and there's been positive conversations with the town about resolving that and giving us the time to address it. And to the extent that there is an ability to, on a practical level, do the issues that you talked about, to kind of confirm that the flow will not be so significantly impeded that it adversely affects a neighbor and things like that. I can certainly advise my client, advise Nate that we should look into that, and we're willing to look into it. But what we're asking here is for, for the additional time to be able to go forward with the project once this title issue is resolved with the neighbor. And there has been meaningful progress in that regard. In fact, to my knowledge, I'm not handling the litigation. Counsel for Nexamp, counsel, Mr. Eichen for the town, and counsel for the neighbors have a settlement agreement that has been going back and forth between the lawyers to try to resolve it, which part of it would be to potentially give some of the extra time that we're asking for here. But I can just report that. I've heard that. I didn't participate actively in it. For tonight's purposes, I just ask that we get the extra time that we've requested, and perhaps you can, Mr. Resendes, as part of your role as the chair, speak with town council and town administrator about those discussions so that you can advise the board. And if you want us to come back and report on that issue about the stone and about the impact and what type of stone we're choosing and why and what we see upgrading, I'm happy to report on it. But again, it's another issue where we need the time to be able to do that.
Yes, I'll comment a little bit. Like, I do agree that that's definitely being used as a stormwater swell from Cushing Lane right now. I followed it all the way to the end. On the other hand, that's not really what we're here for business again. It's just for the extension. I do agree that I do see it causing further damage to the neighbors if we do just fill it with loam. I would like to see just a pipe put through there or something, just to give that water the continuous flow. But on the other hand, that would consider the town using private property for stormwater drainage, which by MS4 law you can't do without consent. So there's a lot more on that drainage than is just to the meat of the eye. And also with bringing up the ferns, you can't have wetland plants in an upland setting if the water is being fed in there. You're bringing the water table up in that area by draining other water from other places into there. So with that said, like I said, I think this problem is a problem that might need to be addressed in the future. But as of today, we're not going to be able to address this problem if we don't grant them the extension. So I would put in a motion to extend. That's your motion.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Discussion?
Length of time.
Length of time
For what?
for the extension.
We'll do 3 years.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
I don't think we should be given a 3-year, my own personal opinion.
Motion passes. All right, you guys all set?
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
That was 5-1.
Yes, that was 5-1.
5-1. Okay.
Ryan, do you just want to tell them that all those orders, again, need to be corrected?
Oh, yeah, same thing on those as well.
Yep, so checks again.
Yeah.
Did you receive the checks okay? Is everything clear? I did receive the checks, but I haven't had even a time to process them, but they are in the office. Okay.
Jennifer, while you're standing, has Robinson Road been taken care of?
So I was misspoken when I thought the material was on the site. We have a submittal in to Beals and Thomas right now to review that submittal, and we will be retopping the road. I'm just waiting for it to get approved, and we're gonna bring in the truck, hopefully by the end of this week, but it's already late in the day on Wednesday, so if not, I'm hoping for next week, and I will send some follow-up once that's done. I'm sorry for any confusion on that.
All right, new business. Public hearing, IDA, Paul and Nancy, Paul Boucher, 7 Morton Lane, map 14 lots, 15H and 17. A request for determination was filed by Paul Boucher for property located at 7 Morton Lane, map 14 lots 15H and 17. The applicant proposes to construct an 8-foot by 12-foot shed within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. Plan name is Topographic As-Built Plan dated March 25th, 2023, review matters presented, votes may be taken. I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Paul and Nancy Boucher asked for a continuance to the April 10th meeting.
March 10th.
April 10th.
April 10th.
April 10th, we're on March.
Yeah, they
March
hadn't
13th.
sent the,
Okay.
already
Yeah,
requested
there was an issue with the paperwork. It was filed with us, but it wasn't sent there, so they had asked for continuance. So I'll entertain a motion to continue this to the April 10th, 2024 meeting.
Motion.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, stormwater discussion. Navison, 550 Main Street, discharge from Northern Basin, review matters presented, votes may be taken. Steve, floor is yours.
Good evening, Steve.
How are you guys?
Good.
Thanks for setting this up, Brian.
Thank you.
I think we were all out there on Saturday. If there are any other questions, I'll be happy to take it. We've been working hard on site. We have straw, hydro straw going out tomorrow. We're getting ready for a little bit more rain over the weekend. We're doing our work out there, getting the ponds. All of the outlet controls on the northern and western side are still plugged, so we're not discharging off-site. We are using the approved methodology as we talked about. We built a standpipe out of the western basin, which has a splash pad, and we're going down with the pumps that were sized originally by Bill Madden from GAF Associates. So we're basically trickling the water out right now to try to alleviate the pressure. We've been talking to Meridian Associates to review the design, again, as we talked about. We're working on, I think we're starting to formulate a plan to tweak the northern basin, the outlet control up there, make it a little bit more palatable to everybody, spread the water out a little bit, tweak the western basin, similarly reroute the outlet, and then we're trying to figure out what else to do on the southern side of that site to capture some of the water and redirect stuff. So we're in the process of that. And why I'm here tonight is, we talked about this a little, I would like to start to engage the process of this board, engaging a third-party engineer, review engineer, technical engineer, that we'll pay for, 100%. I think it's important now, because we're in this interim process, that our technical guys would like to have someone on the technical side running ideas and things by, that's a representative of the town. And I know you guys like to have a technical third party, so I'd like that. And then what I also want to do is, we want to get out there and build any changes that we do under an amended order really quickly, because we don't want to miss the growing season by too much. So rather than waiting, designing, submitting, then having to wait another 2 weeks for the next meeting, voting, and then having it get set up, I'd rather get someone set up. So I've said before, Bill Madden at JF was great to work with. If you guys want to do it, he's got the history with the project, so we understand what's going on. But we're more than happy if you guys want to bring in another third-party independent by yourself to kind of get a new set of eyes as well. We're happy to do that as well. I want to get that moving so we're all set, and have someone that we can bounce ideas off in this interim period, just to check we're doing things per the SWIP and things like that. So happy to ask any questions. I've said this before to everybody. I've been talking to Bob Hinckley entirely on this. We're active here. We're trying to fix this.
Well,
We really want to fix this.
You really showed that Saturday.
Thanks.
I'm going to tell you, I thought it was a very great walkthrough with you. You were really right up with us and gave us every little detail of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to prevent. And you showed us everything that was going on, and it was a really nice walkthrough, and it really showed me anyways how aggressive you want to be in fixing this issue, and not saying, well, you know, when we get to it, we get to it. It's showing me that you're looking to go full steam and let's get it done. And I really appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. So Joanne had sent me an email today from the abutters to the, what is it, the Western Basin. All those pictures came today?
Yes,
So I don't know if it happened Sunday?
beginning
Yeah,
sentence.
the weekend.
Oh,
right?
the
Is that from Scott?
We had.
No, it was from Mr. Walsh. And it was sent to Joanne and Bob Hinckley. So I haven't talked to Bob. If there was an issue, he would have reached out to me. I don't know if it was old. I'm really confused on that aspect, because I didn't hear anything about it.
No.
But you just said no water has left the site, so I didn't have.
We're monitoring it. Look,
You stayed there.
unfortunately, Mr. Walsh has water, has a farm pond there. He has running water. I think you guys have said this. We've looked at everything here, right? It's not an excuse, but we've got 17 inches of water this year through the first 10 days of March. That's at New Bedford Airport. So that's still 3 miles away, and we all talked about this on Saturday. Acushnet gets 3 times that much. But 17 inches of rain at this time of year is a lot of water. The entire area is saturated. We're 170% over average for the last 60 days. We're 140% over average for the last 90 days. So the water is everywhere. I've been in touch. Scott LaBelle sent me stuff. Mr. Walsh doesn't send me anything. He sends it to Bob.
Yeah.
And Bob immediately turns it to me. So if I didn't see it, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I found that odd too, because when Bob gets any information, on this project, he normally reaches right out to me, and I didn't get any contact from him, so I don't.
Can I see what you're talking about?
I got a question. Hold on.
Yeah.
Do we have any pictures or photos of anything before? Like, say he said, so supposedly these pictures are from whenever. Where's the picture the day before? How do I know this is from Saturday?
Well, we were there Saturday.
Yeah, so I didn't see this all in the back, so who says this is from Sunday?
I understand.
Yeah, Reagan said it.
Well,
What I'm
my
getting
point
at
is-
is,
So we were there Saturday.
Yesterday.
yeah,
So you saw the conditions on Saturday.
exactly, so I'm
was a
not
wet
saying I
Saturday.
didn't see it. I said, where's the pictures? Because everybody wants to keep showing me the worst case. This is the worst that happened. But nobody showed me what the yard looks like before. It's showing one side of the picture here.
Well, Eric, the other thing is too, as you pointed out Saturday, that it's not only the solar field, you got the other places up on the hill, and that is a low point. Mr. Walsh is a low point of the surrounding area, and we've all noticed that Saturday. As soon as you pointed it out, it was like, you're right, that is a high area all around, and it's all sloping to that corner per se.
Yeah, and, but yeah, it's like taking a picture and cutting somebody out, like.
No, I mean.
If you're gonna throw pictures in front of me, at least show me before.
So I just read the email. The email said this is today, March 12th. So that would have been yesterday, right?
Yeah, that would've been yesterday.
But I think in the email, he said it occurred over the weekend.
I think it might be just an angry neighbor.
No, I know it's no.
And you know what the common in all of these was the common word was, I think. And we can't make.
Hey guys, that's why that's why I'm here tonight.
No,
Get a technical person and we can have this conversation, right?
Yeah, no, I get
We're
it.
not discharging from site. This is something that's happened I was before you in December. People were claiming I was discharging. I was keeping everything on site, right? And so I want to be able to have a conversation. I've told Mr. LaBelle at Scott's Way multiple times when he's reached out to Bob, I'll come out and walk the site with you, yes. Now, from my own personal view, some of the pictures just look like, yeah, it rained last night. We've got 17 inches of rain. You have some puddles in it. We have a third party who claimed before that we weren't impacting him, but he's still there. And in his first initial email, he's like, I don't care what any of the models say, blah, blah. So it's like, I get it. But we're willing to work with people. And if someone tells me I need to fix something, I'm gonna fix it.
And just like on the other hand, like, yeah, it's not puddles, it's definitely running water, but the whole spot where the running water is coming from is cut out of the picture.
Yeah, I can't even tell where.
Yeah,
The water's going this way, but I don't know what's.
I'm gonna reach out to Mr. Walsh. I'm gonna reach out to Selectman Hinckley and find out the context of this, because I had been receiving all updates from Bob, if he received updates from Mr. Walsh, and I didn't get any updates on this, so I just want to get the context.
Look, I reached out to Bob, it's just,
Why is it?
Mr. Walsh was on our property over the weekend, inside the fence, and our guys caught him and he took off out of there, and I reported it to Bob. I'm not accusing him of anything, but it's just like, I want to fix this.
Well, you should put no trespassing signs on it, truthfully.
We do.
Yep.
We have them.
They have to be every 40 feet, the whole way around the whole property, just so you know.
All right.
The other thing is, I think we're here though to see about the engineering,
Right,
correct?
that is the matter at hand.
Okay.
Side note, I would reach out to Mr. Walsh and let him know what, occurred tonight. He's not here, so.
Yeah.
Yep, so I believe that you're gonna do what you're saying. You're gonna get a new engineer, you're gonna recalculate this, you guys are gonna do all your motions. And what you want is our engineer to be there with you, so this way everything is direct and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, will you guys approve it? I believe that's what you want, I believe that's what you're gonna do.
That's exactly what.
No.
The only thing I want the commission to think about is a new set of eyes. That's the only thing I'm saying, but that's up to you guys too, it's between all of us.
Now, is it a bylaw, or was it just something they were going by to dump all that water into that area? That was the only concern I had, not.
So I've been talking to multiple engineers, right? So there's federal and state bylaws that you have the right, under existing conditions and proposed
And
conditions,
there's town though, too.
to
Was it something under our town?
maximize and mismatch and go things where they are. I'm having other people turn over every stone, relook at everything. And whether or not the assumption that was originally laid out, sending all of that water to the north, is probably not true. And so that's why what is going to the north now is only below that the northern swale. Everything else is going to the west. So the basin to the north is significant. So that's what we're trying to look at.
The only problem in here is I'm just looking, did he tell you that you had to discharge all that water over there because of, it was a town
Yes.
bylaw, statewide bylaw, or a,
That's what we were told during the rain when we were under enforcement, that all the water that was going there originally had to go.
just under enforcement? So prior, when you had the plans submitted, that wasn't, or was that something?
So we had an approved plan that we had a breakout in December of '22.
Yeah.
We thought we fixed it, then we had a major breakout in January of '23.
Yeah, but at that plan, was it told that you had to go with all that way?
No, and so let me tell you, so
Okay.
then we went under enforcement order, could not discharge off the property, which we didn't.
Yeah.
Brought in a new engineer, redesigned the whole site, which was reviewed. And during that review, everyone was like, yeah, you have to match existing drainage patterns. And that's how we ended up, and that's how it was approved. And then we didn't open up until January of this year. And so two Tuesdays ago was the first time that the site had opened up again. And that's when you and Bob reached out to me and said, yeah, this looks like too much water.
I'm just saying that because I really would like to see that majority of all that water go to the back of Mr. Walsh's property instead of going to the front. I know how bylaws go, though, just like septics, you have to use your word septic. In my head, that's not a really legal thing, but by law, that's what you're supposed to do. So that's why I was just worried that even if it is re-engineered and we end up having to put all that water over there in that same spot again, we're gonna end up with the same results.
Right.
So I just wanna make sure that it's not, that they can do that. I was kind of in their favor, maybe that's
Well,
something they have to do or we have to do.
Right, no,
Look into it more.
we're gonna have an engineer represent the town that they're gonna pay for, and they're gonna look into all of this for us to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore.
And I'm sure with our engineer, they're not gonna say, oh, you can do this against state regulations, against federal regulations, or against our bylaws. They're gonna, I'm
Right.
sure
Yeah,
our engineers
all
will
of
say,
that's
I understand
all
that,
that's
it's
gonna
just,
be taken
I guess
into
it's another, I think that
Correct.
nobody really knows at the end of the day right now, at this point in time.
what's that? I'm
I
sorry.
think it's just, none of us really know
That's why
at this point in time.
he's saying
Yeah.
hire another engineer for us.
That's all I'm getting at, it was just
So let's get to the task at hand then.
Yep.
James says that, he wants a new set of eyes. I don't have a problem with Bill Madden. I like Bill Madden a lot.
He's great.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I like it too, I just really wanna see that water go a different direction, so we don't,
All right, we'll discuss that with, if that's an option with the consultant.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so,
I mean, I think if everyone says Bill Madden, then we go with it, I'm just saying that, I was thinking that,
GAF Engineering, I like him, he does a really good job. I mean, he does Acushnet Companies.
Cushion company.
Yeah, he's-
Yeah, I know, that's,
You
yeah.
guys are paying for.
I was just saying, he was there
Yeah.
before, so maybe a
Right.
new set of
Yeah,
eyes would be
That's what
better.
that's what I'm thinking too.
Joanne, you want
He
me
was
to get?
previously
$5,000?
involved.
Right, so he's familiar with the site, and
But things are working that, things have to be redone. So that's why I'm saying maybe a new set of eyes would be better, but that's my opinion. And I guess it's Christians too, but that's just our opinion. Maybe get a new set of eyes there so it's all brand new to somebody. Instead of looking at what happened or whatever, they're just gonna be looking at going forward.
But then wouldn't.
You're bringing in
Bill
a
know,
completely
like,
new
what's
engineer on your
already
side,
there?
right?
Yeah,
So
So
there's a
there's
brand new
two
set of
brand new
eyes
engineers.
there.
Right, you're gonna, but wouldn't Bill know what's already there and like
Right.
what changes would maybe help things?
Well, I don't think that has to be voted. It's just, whatever you guys think. I mean,
so what are you trying to say, leave the same engineer?
no, I'm
No,
saying two new
for us.
Can't
engineers.
review it.
Oh,
They have a new engineer and
No,
we have a new engineer.
they're getting a new engineer. We're discussing who we're gonna use for.
Let me be clear, I have another engineer looking at everything. I'm not sure, I'm working through whether or not they're gonna stamp it or Weston's gonna stamp it, but I have another engineer completely looking at this again, yeah.
Yeah. I like Bill Madden. I don't have a problem with Bill looking at it.
James, I totally understand your point about a new clear set of eyes. There's a lot going on here, and Bill knows every nook and cranny of where
So
stuff's
are you getting a
going.
new engineer or you're not getting a new
No,
engineer?
He's gonna get a new engineer, but
No,
we're
no.
gonna get a.
Yeah, but he just said that someone's gonna stamp it. That is not the new engineer.
Possibly.
I
He said
can't, I
possibly.
can't say
That's
that
right.
yet. I'm working through
He
that.
said possibly.
I have a new engineer looking
Right.
at everything.
So I just feel that a new engineer either side should be on site. And that's my personal opinion. You
Yeah.
guys do what you want.
I
you know?
think so.
I think Bill is very
Someone
good,
that's not-
Brian, and I agree with you. I'm just saying there should definitely be a new set of eyes.
Right, fresh, you know.
Right.
Someone looking at this a whole different, maybe a whole new way,
Different
you
I
know,
don't
more
care who it is,
heads.
as long as it's someone new.
What's that?
I don't care who it is, as long as it's somebody new.
So let me ask you this question. With the timing, can you guys find someone new? Interview someone new, get a proposal for someone new?
Well,
If I'm gonna submit an application in the next 2 weeks,
Well, if you're doing a new guy, then I guess we'd go with
We don't
Bill.
have an
But if
agent.
you're not, then I think we
Right.
should go with a new guy.
Right.
I just say
No.
there should be definitely a new set of eyes on this project.
Yeah, I agree.
And Eric agrees,
What's that?
Christian
my guy's
agrees.
gonna be good.
Yeah, but he's gonna have a new
So
guy.
He's
And
gonna,
right now,
I can't, it's gonna be a new guy.
All right, so the new guy's gonna stamp it.
just make it happen, man. Come on.
All right,
so,
we'll go with Bill.
okay.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to use GAF engineering for this? Is there a second?
Well, the new guy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Brian,
We'll
one more
notify
question.
Mr. Madden that,
$5,000?
I could get an estimate for you.
Okay. I can get a check down here next week, so.
What was this guy's name? Paul? Bill?
Bill Madden?
Bill Madden.
You've met him multiple times.
Yeah, I was gonna say a few
I'm
times.
just kidding.
All right, Steve, I'll reach out to you about that, and I'll reach out to Selectman Hinckley, see
Yeah,
what.
let me know about that. 'Cause Bob's been really good at sending anything that
Yeah,
goes over, so.
I know, that's why I'm just, I wanted to put it out there that there was new information received about a discharge, but I
No,
didn't hear it from.
We are, I told you, pumping, but we're trickling. It's at the rate, so. The outlet
Using the
control,
methodology, right?
the outlet controls are blocked, but we're using the originally
Yeah.
approved stormwater methodology.
Yeah, with the spill pad.
With the spill pad down into the pipe. And so,
Understood.
again, with him, there is water that we are going over that, but it's a significant reduced amount of water, because not as much is going there, we're blocking it off right now.
No,
But he's not gonna not see water.
why don't you just put a camera up? to
We
the
have a
right?
camera,
Okay, so you can get rebuttals of these.
we're getting reconfigured. We have, I have burials, I think so.
Steve, I appreciate it, we'll be in touch.
Good? Thank you, Bill.
Steve, when did you block that?
It was blocked when we were there.
No, I understand, I'm just curious when.
Before Tuesday's storm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we were open on the two Tuesday
Oh,
before.
prior, yeah.
And then the Saturday into Sunday storm, we were partially opened. That's when I was out on site, 6:30 Sunday morning.
Yeah,
Again, you were on that one. And then for the 1.5 inch this last storm,
sure, yeah.
we were closed. And then when you guys were out there, we were completely closed. And so, okay?
All right.
Thank you, young man.
Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, next order of business. Adopt Section 53G, peer review regulations, review of matters presented, votes may be taken. I'll read this to the record, and this comes because we do not have an agent and we need professional advice to represent the commission on a lot of these projects that we're dealing with and what are coming up.
I got one.
So I reached out to town council. I said, I need an expedited regulation. You know, it's pretty standard amongst the towns, and they delivered almost immediately. So I'll read it to the record. Town of Acushnet Conservation Commission rule regarding imposition of consultant fees. The following rule is adopted pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 53G. Number 1, when considering an application for a variance, special permit, plan development, approval, comprehensive permit, or any other permit or approval within the authority of the Conservation Commission under the Wetland Protection General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, or any other applicable federal, state, or local requirements or regulations, the board may determine that the assistance of an outside consultant is warranted due. For instance, and without limitation to the size, scale, or complexity of a proposed project, because of a project's potential impacts, or because the commission lacks the necessary expertise to perform the work related to the matter before the commission. To provide for such assistance, the commission may require that the applicant deposit a sum of money in an amount to be determined by the commission to retain and utilize the services of such consultants. In the event that such sum is insufficient to fund the necessary consulting services, the commission may require additional deposits. Number 2, in hiring outside consultants, the commission may engage engineers, scientists, financial analysts, planners, lawyers, urban designers, or other appropriate professionals who can assist to ensure compliance with all relevant laws, ordinances, standards, and regulations. Such assistance may include, but shall not be limited to, analyzing an application, monitoring or inspecting a project for site for compliance with the applicable statutes, codes, bylaws, regulations, and conditions, or inspecting a project during construction or implementation. Number 3, funds received by the commission pursuant to this rule shall be deposited with the town treasurer, who shall establish a special account for this purpose consistent with the terms and provisions of General Law, Chapter 44, subsection 53G. Expenditures from this special account may be made at the direction of the commission without further appropriation. Expenditures from this special account shall be made only for services rendered in connection with a specific project or projects for which a project review fee has been or will be collected. Accrued interest may also be spent for this purpose. Failure of an applicant to pay a review fee shall be grounds for denial of the application. Alternatively, in the discretion of the commission, approval of any such application may be continued upon payment of any outstanding review fees.
Conditioned,
Yeah,
maybe conditioned.
right,
You said continue.
yeah.
Oh. Is it convenient? I'm sorry.
May
Anyways,
be conditioned upon payment
All
of
right,
any
we got it.
outstanding review fees.
yes, conditioned, yes, sorry.
Yep.
Got it. Number 4, at the completion of the commission's review, any excess amount in the account, including interest attributable to a specific project, shall be repaid to the applicant or the applicant's successor in interest. A final report of said account shall be made available to the applicant or applicant's successor in interest upon request. For the purpose of this regulation, any person or entity claiming to be an applicant's successor in interest shall provide the commission with documentation establishing such succession in interest. Number 5, any applicant or property owner assessed such a consultant fee may take an administrative appeal from the selection of the outside consultant to the Board of Selectmen. Such appeal must be made in writing and may be taken only within 7 days after the commission has provided notice to the applicant of the selection. The grounds for such an appeal shall be limited to claims that consult selected has a conflict of interest does not possess the minimum required qualifications. The minimum qualification shall consist either of an educational degree in or related to the field at issue, or 3 or more years of practice in the field at issue or a related field. The required time limit for action upon an application by the commission shall be extended by the duration of the administrative appeal. In the event that no decision is made by the Board of Selectmen within 1 month following the filing of an appeal, the selection made by the commission shall stand.
It's on the website.
We're voting on it tonight, and if it passes, the regulation gets adopted, then it will be on the town's website.
I gotta make a decision on this right this second?
Well, this is so that, right now, we do not have a conservation agent. And we need an expert in the field to review projects, consult the commission, and provide those services to us. And this is at the applicant's expense.
Right.
So, that's.
So we want the applicant to pay for our problem? Is that what we're getting to right now?
No, this is common in many towns,
I'm
and.
not asking if it's common, I'm asking if that's.
Oh, it's not
Well, I mean,
necessarily a problem per se, it's
If
part
you're
of
an
the
applicant-
procedure, Eric.
Yeah,
It's
a regulation, so,
How do you define it as a problem?
it would be.
Because
It's
we
part
don't
of the
have,
procedure.
because we don't have an agent, so why is it right for make the applicant pay for it?
That's not, it's not uncommon.
Well, you know, especially if they live in town and they already pay for their taxes to go.
So what is the difference in, you know, if it's an agent or an outside consultant? I mean, what's the difference? There's still a cost involved,
One's
right?
gonna cost him 2
There's still a cost involved, right? Correct?
No,
And those expenses have to be met somehow.
Right.
How do you propose those expenses are met? Tax money?
well, that's.
I'm just curious what your opinion is.
It can be at the commission's discretion, so,
Right.
when
Understood.
somebody comes in for a septic system, that's 75 feet from the wetland line, we can, use our own discretion as a commission. A project comes in with stormwater,
19 houses.
yeah, 19 houses.
That could do it, yeah, that alone.
Whatever, I
Right.
mean,
Can I ask you a question, Ryan?
Yeah.
So if someone comes in with 19 houses, right? Even if we have an agent, we still send it up for peer review.
Sure. It's
Correct?
that's-
That
it's
peer
still-
review,
that
they
peer,
pay for.
that peer review's paid for by the applicant.
By the.
That's right. So this is
The owner.
no, this is actually,
This is just a regulation that we'll have on our website.
so everyone knows.
Laying
and
out
that-
the proper language.
Yeah.
yes,
Correct,
The protocol.
For protocol.
correct. So
We
what
can
I'm
have
saying
it
is
on our website.
if
Sure.
they're gonna pay for a peer review,
Yeah,
they're still
I mean,
gonna pay
it's the
for our
same-
consultant, which is
exactly.
kind of a
It's the
peer
same-
review.
It's the same
That's right.
thing. This is just the proper language that
Yeah.
I asked town council to get, so that we
Yeah,
have
sure.
it on our website.
I think it's,
Oh, I take a motion that we pass it.
yeah, I'll second that.
All right, there's a motion and a second.
I'm saying, haven't read it enough.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
In one abstention. 501. Okay. No agent updates, other business. Future business. The next meeting of the Conservation Commission will be on March 27th, 2024.
I have one more thing to say, Ryan, we have, the Camaras keep extending,
Right?
right, continuing. If they continue again, do we have the right to like say, hey, listen, don't come back to us till you're finally gonna do it? Because I know it's worked for Joanne, it's worked for everything going through, and this is the 4th time now? And I'm just wondering if we have the right to say, hey, listen, don't get a hold of us again until you're 100% know you're ready. I'm hoping that they do come to the next meeting, that, it does, but if they don't, I'm just wondering, do we have any right to say, listen, enough with the continuance, this will be number 5, I believe, enough with the continuance, don't come see us again until you're ready. Because it does make more work for Joanne, Joanne's gotta post it, she's gotta write it,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I was just asking, because I don't know.
Well, we're not gonna mention one.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, it is an option, but, it also would require a butter notification and,
I think he's close.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
as long as you wanna keep pushing the paperwork.
yeah, I mean, it is an option to just tell them, you know, come back when you're ready. I mean, Mr. Sharon's,
Yeah, Rick, yeah.
he's a good guy.
He is.
Yeah,
He's
he
all
is.
right. No,
So,
I know Rick
you know,
really well. I do
Yeah.
know him very well.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll get to that bridge. I mean, it is an option, yes, to answer your question, but you know,
So, yeah.
I'm not saying do it,
Well,
you
no,
know,
I'll give him-
and going down in
No,
the future,
yeah.
if we have someone who keeps continuing, I just wanna know if
Yeah.
we say, hey, listen,
Yes,
don't
that-
come back and see us until you're ready.
right,
That's all.
Notify us when you're ready.
Yeah, no, it
Right?
created a little bit of a problem because when I had all the site visits scheduled and all the times, and then when I talked to Rick,
Right.
I thought he was
That-
sending
that's
everything in, he was
right.
like, I'm not ready
It
again, and
threw- it
then
threw us a
and then I had to go
curveball.
back
Yeah,
and
sure.
fix everything, and then another half an hour
Right.
goes by of just something I'd already completed, so.
yeah.
It would be nice if they had more communication with us too, if they're gonna ask for a continuance again, you know,
Right,
besides being here, you know.
Work days are tough too.
understood. Okay, the next meeting of the Conservation Commission will be on March 27th, 2024. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, 7 PM.